We're all doing really well this evening. It is the 27th of September, 2025. Let me know how we're doing in the chat. I know we've got not Brett Mayer on the show, legend of the chat. What I love about him or her, is that they come on and they give us their opinion. What I love about that is they give us their opinion. Legend of the chat, as I say. Respectfully, banterly, it's absolutely nothing wrong in giving banter on this channel. The only thing I ask on this channel is that we remain respectful to each other's views. I will happily read out your views as long as they are respectful to the community. You don't have to agree with me. I am not the Messiah. My opinion is not the be all and the end all. I just give you my opinion. Listen to your opinions. Today's going to be a rough one. I know it is. But again, as long as we are respectful to each other in this chat, absolutely no problem at all. Yeah. So I'm trying to not go into it too yet. Let me know in the chat what you thought about the game today, what you thought about some of the other games today, what you think about our chances in the league this year. And again, look, guys, I'm not here to hide away from anything at all. I'm not here not to answer your questions. I'm not here to hide away. I'll give you my opinions. You guys give your opinions. I know it's a very, very turbulent time right now. I've got my opinions. I know my opinions are going to be different to other people's opinions. Doesn't mean my opinion is right. It's just my opinion. You don't even have to respect my opinion necessarily, but I will respect yours, and we can get through and get to it into the show. So, why aren't I leading with Amorin sacked? Why aren't I leading with Amorin should be sacked? Why aren't I jumping on the bandwagon of no breaking news from Carrington yet? No, not just yet. Not Brett May. You break my heart. You break my heart every day. No, I'm kidding. Nothing yet. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is that for those of you who are Amorin out or think the manager should be sacked, you're going to get your wish. There's no point in me trying to hide away from this. I'm going to say I am Amorin in, and I will get to that. This could potentially be one of the longest shows that we'll do. I'll give you my opinion as to why I'm still Amorin in. Spurs one down. Exactly. I'll give you my opinion why I am Amorin in. Amorin in to me right now is not what you think it is. Amorin in for me is not Amorin in terms of he gets a free pass and I think he's without repute. This is not about that. And we'll go into that as well. So let me just get into the chat. Just get all your vile, and I'm not, just if there's any vile or venom that you want to get off of your chest, get off of it now. Get into the chat. It's banter time. Just get in there. Let us know your opinions on it, and yes. So why am I not Amorin out? I could put Amorin out. I could put Amorin sacked on the thumbnail, and I could be trying to get loads and loads of clicks by saying Amorin's going to get sacked. Amorin's out. Hi JB and all the chat. Not a great result today. The question is, how long can this continue? One win, one loss. Sorry, it's not just. And Rob, and again, my friend, we'll get into that as well, my friend. I agree with you completely. Completely agree. We will go through the game. We'll go through as much stuff as you want to tonight, and let's get to it. So let's talk about the game first. So off of the back of the Chelsea game, right? So I was very much of the opinion that the Chelsea game was only good enough if we'd managed to go on to win this game. I give Amorin the benefit of the doubt and the team the benefit of the doubt, as in they started the Chelsea game really, really well. They went down to 10 men. We went down to 10. and I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Now, with hindsight, you can look back on that game and go, look, if we'd have had 11v11, would we have won that game? I can't convincingly say yes. And Rob Taff says, shocking defence. You can't play Maguire that high. Luke Shaw poor again. Delow, dreadful. Brennan's meant to be Sim, and he's all. Rob, we'll get into that as well. We'll get into that as well. So, hope this is live saying he's sacked. Leo, no, he's not my friend. I'm still at Amorin in, and I will give you my opinions as to why it's not Amorin in because I necessarily think he's going to stay. There's a meaning behind that, and I'll give you my reason behind that. So Chelsea for me. So today was an opportunity for these players to show what they could do. A chance, and whenever I talk about this now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to play the both sides. Right, I need to play Amorin in and Amorin out. Right now, Amorin has got very, very little supporters, which I find incredulous. I find it ridiculous, but we can get on to that, right? Lisa, Amorin in, you can't have him at this time. Look, I will explain it all. James Bell's going down with Burnley at least. Now, James, what's really funny, and this is what I'm gonna come back at these answers today. What's really, really funny, Liverpool lost today, right? Bournemouth are third, right? Palace are second. City are on 10 points. Okay, Chelsea are on 8, right? We've had the most horrific season. We are playing awful. Apparently, we're down, right? We're 1 point behind the Blues, 3 behind. We're just. There's one rule for us, and one rule for everybody else, right? So I'm just going to put that out there now. So if we're going to go down, and we're awful, Chelsea 1 point in. We beat Chelsea, and Chelsea have a point more than us and lost today. But Chelsea are fine. Just all I'm asking is make that make sense to me. Okay. And we'll go through the game. So Bruno is Amranat. Fernandez. We could talk for the game as well, right? Hi JB and all. It was. You can't compete. Felt today deflated watching the game. Something has to change. It will, and it will be the manager. It will be the manager, and it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Leeds are better than United. Stephen says, Sean Tarts loves your channel. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. I wish I could do that. Sean Dyche voice. I can't do it. So Johnny Hill says, I think no matter what the result is against Sunderland, he gets sacked. And to be honest, he deserves the sack. He refuses to change, and I can just tell he started the game against. Look, again, Johnny, I don't disagree with you, mate. Amorin out is tonight. Look, this is your chance to look. This is your chance. I'm going to plead my case for Amorin in tonight, and I'll give you my reasonings. And it's not what you think it is. You give me your reasons, and don't just go because it's like the tactics and that kind of stuff. I get it, but give me a reason. Give me reasons why. Okay, and I'll give you mine as well. Who said Chelsea? Well, nobody's mentioning them. Nobody's talking about them being. There's so I got sent an amazing rant right by Scott about another fan who's saying that they're this and they're that, but the media are not talking about them, right? Manager out, managed one, lost, drawn. I can't disagree. James Bauer says finished 16th with no improvement, going down, rotten club, rotten fan base. Look, James, right? Look, all I'm going to say, James, look, mate, right? Tonight, 100% get in your critiques about the club. The only thing I'm going to ask on here tonight, which I think is really, really fair for me to ask, as long as, look, getting in banter, getting in your critiques, all I'm asking is just be respectful to each other. I disagree that the fan base is. Now, if you mean that, we are toxic and some of us are toxic, I get it. But look, at the end of the day, people are just fans, right? They pay their money. Now, I spend money to watch them today. You know, I spend my hard-earned cash to pay a subscription fee to watch them today. I don't think it's fair to aim that at fans. So look, James, I get it. You can dislike the club. I mean, I never understand the venom towards different fans. I get it, it's banter, but I don't agree with that. You could look, I agree with that. We're not improvement. Are we going down? I don't think we are. Rotten club, yes, I agree, but the fan base isn't. The fan base is not. Blue Edits at least Garnacho left Bruno and said, I want to be the boss instead of Saudi. He wanted to stay with a better manager. Managed 25, drawn 7, lost 5, 15. You still think he said, look, Leo, whatever I think with Amorin in or out, I will come to it all. I will come to it all. It's just not about the coach. Scotty, what's good, JB? I'm very, very well. Ariane Jane says, I will give it once the combination are highly static in nature. Yeah, whatever, mate. Stick to an 11. Yeah, because United are a bigger club, and that's what the media talk about them. Johnny Hill says, I see I could probably be Amorin in. It took accountability, made better decisions, etc. He doesn't do anything. In fact, I'd argue his decision making has got worse. And Johnny, I've got a theory on that as well. To be fair, you scored that penalty, you would probably have won the game. Gratz, look, I don't think so. I don't think so. James says, biggest load of waffle. James Bowers, mate, look, all I'm going to say tonight is I'm a respectful guy. And this is a after watershed, James, so I can see it, right? James, if you don't like it, fuck off. Like, it's a simple, like, I've got no time tonight. Like, I don't mind banter, and I don't mind people, you know, saying different things about the club. But if you're going to start attacking me and you're going to start to attack the fan base, James, fuck off. But seriously, you are not wanted here. So there were plenty of things that you can do. I'm sure you've had a beer or two. I'm sure you've taken a brave pill. I'm sure your life is crap, and I'm sure you probably live in your mum's basement or you live in like your mum's house. If you don't like it, mate, don't be it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time on this. It's no point. All you want to do is piss people off. Do it, but I'll just ban you. So exactly. Done and dusted, James. I've said it a few times. Any other club Amorin would have gone by now. Ten Hag all over again. Good points, guys. Good points. Best example is Maguire for me. Amorin acknowledged that he knew Brentford's long throw game. If he knew this, don't get why did he pick him at the last man? I'll come on to that first. I think banter is one thing, but saying your opinion is shit and you're a piece of crap is disrespectful. Exactly. So we are after Harry Kane another couple of years without a trophy. Exactly. Right. So I'm going to come on to this. Sean says, not a laugh at your expense, but it's a great start to the week, and it hasn't even started. Look, Sean, well, no problem, my friend, with the banter, mate. No problem at all. You know, respectful banter is cool. All right. Look, I get it. I'm not hiding away. The only thing I will not have on this channel is people insulting you guys. It's people not, you know, look, we've all got our opinions, and you're valid in your opinions. The only thing I will not accept are two things. One, any disrespect towards you guys and towards me, and people who try to shut people down for having an opinion, right? That is just not cool. JB, I don't get why the manager is not starting Euro. He got pace, which is what we needed. Why? Again, I will come on to that. At least Ten Hag got a trophy. Anyone looking for good comedy, watch the game back. Again, my friend, yes. So I'm going to come on to this before. Look, Amorin is an intelligent guy. Okay? Intelligent, smart, he knows what to do. This is sabotage. Okay? Amorin, I think Amorin wants out. And I'm just going to say this now, whether I want him in, and I'm going to defend it tonight. Amorin wants out. There is no way on this planet, there is no way that Amorin is making the decisions that he is on purpose. There is just no way. Amorin is a great manager in Portugal. Look, Amorin is doing this on purpose. I think Amorin wants out. There was a quote that he said that There are difficult things that are happening in this club that I can't say. Things that are happening behind the scenes. Amorin knows something. Amorin wants out. Amorin doesn't want to walk. Amorin wants to get paid off. Amorin, there is no way that Amorin puts Maguire as the last man. Look, Amorin is doing this on purpose. I am utterly convinced now that Amorin wants out. That is what you saw today. What you saw today is a manager that set up a team to try to win, but Amorin wants out. This is the only explanation for me right now with the baffling decisions that he makes is that he's doing this on purpose, and Amorin wants out. So I think, look, I'm going to argue tonight. I'm not argue. I'm going to give you my opinion tonight on it. But for those of you who want Amorin out, he's gone. Amorin is gone. Amorin is absolutely gone. And what you saw today was sabotage. And in that opinion, Amorin has to go. Amorin has to go. It's come to a point for me now where Amorin has to go. But I'm not Amorin out. And there's a difference. And there is a difference. And I will come on to that as well. Blue Edit says, Bruno is trying to play as a 10. That penalty was in protest of Rúben. Agree with you completely. Needs to listen to the fans. We're not managers, but we know Fernandes is great as a 10. I get that completely. But if Fernandes did that today, which he did, Fernandes can fuck off as well. Fernandes is part of this problem. Fernandes is the gatekeeper of player power. This is why I wanted him to go, because he is the last bastion of player power at this club. And you can tell that today. What he did today, he can fuck off. Bruno Fernandes for me is done. That penalty that he took today, he couldn't be bothered. That performance today for me, Fernandes is done. I will not support him any longer. I've given him the benefit of the doubt. Bruno Fernandes can fuck off. He's done. As far as I'm concerned, he is tainting the legacy that he's done for this club. He wants this manager out. These players clearly have down tools. And I'll come on to that as well. But Bruno Fernandes can fuck off. He'll go next week when Sunderland beat. I don't disagree. Also, until Amorin gone, I don't see him as the only problem. I want Delay, Maguire, being Shaw, and Fernandes gone as well. The guy says, I agree with you, my friend. If they want to sack him, he'll be gone by Monday, not after Sunderland. They're not going to throw a new guy away before an away game at Anfield. Look, I don't know. If he wants out, and for me, he can go. I'm sorry, but I just can't see this getting any better. Things need to improve fast. He ain't going to walk. He wants to get sacked for the payout. I agree with you. I agree. Yes, I agree. Bruno, I'm done. Bruno is a great play. Disillusion. Graz. There's a difference between being a good player. I agree. He's a good player. But he's not the player that we need. He's not a captain of this club. Look, how can I be... Right, if you watch that game today, Bruno is supposed to be the captain of this club, a leader. He is a waste of time and a waste of space. He's been like this for 2 years. He doesn't want to be here. He's petulant. He's arrogant. He can't lead this club. Today, that penalty was a disgrace. His performance was a disgrace. And he keeps doing this over and over again. I'm not disillusioned. Bruno is a good player, but he's not here. He's done. Bruno Fernandes is petulant. I do not want this guy anywhere near this club anymore. I'm tired. I'm tired of Bruno Fernandes is petulant. You know, you cannot play in your position, but have some pride. I mean, put the penalty away. You know, you're the captain. He's missed 2 from 3. He's done. He's done as well. I bet the players scroll through their phone while Rúben is explaining. I agree with you. I would support him, but think about the kids with Bruno picks. Crystal Palace had a good result today. It's up and down season. As far as exactly Ahmed says, United are embarrassing. I hope Amorin doesn't get sacked before the Liverpool game. Thanks, mate. I think Jim waits till Amorin has done a year because it's a lot cheaper to sack him. I don't think that he can wait a year, mate. Listen, Bruno is another problem. First, we need Shaw out, like Sir Alex did with the defence. Yeah, I get Slabhead out. I agree. Bruno secretly watching this on social media tomorrow. Yep. Andrew Edwards. Bruno isn't that good. He's a stat padder. Andrew, I've always said that. He's a massive stat padder and his stats are faulted chances created because your players take shots from it. And exactly, I've always said this. Bruno is a stat padder. He's not great. He's not great. He's not. Nick says the players don't just zeal matches. Amorin needs to go. I don't see this working. I don't think Tesco wants to be here. I agree. Cunha wanted to take the penalty. Exactly. Salah has missed pen, so Bruno isn't on the side. Look, Grass. Look, he has missed penalties, but it wasn't just a miss. Bruno knew what he was doing. Stevie G always put in 100%. Nick says, why is the coach playing Bruno out of his position? Johnny, I think calling Bruno Fernandes a good player is generous. If you take them free kicks and pens away from Bruno, I'd love to know his stats. Ahmad says, yes, Wayne, my fellow red. Sean tweets, loss, win, loss. I predict 5 points from 5 games on another streamer's channel, Sunderland and Liverpool next. So I originally predicted, right, so Sean, if you go back to what I originally predicted for this season, I said we'd get 8 points from 8. That is what I said, and we're on 7 now. And I'm going to find it. I'm going to clip, and it's all there, and it's all there. I said we'd get 8 points from 8, and it's all there. So Brentford boy says, look, welcome, my friend. Look, welcome. You are more than welcome tonight. You can be the honoured guest. Andrew Edwards says it's actually ironic when you had 2 wingers with pace, Rashford and Bruno could spray 40 to 50 yard balls down that line. They could run onto it, put up a controlled system, and he's the weak link. Exactly. So Brentford boy, look, you are welcome here, my friend. Look, well done today. Look, what I'm going to say to you lot today is I'm not even going to say that Brentford didn't deserve to win the game today. They did. Brentford today they went at it. They were tenacious. They were ferocious. They closed us down. They won the first ball, second ball. They wanted it, right? Brentford today, hats off. This is absolutely not here a bad word said. This was a combination of United being absolutely awful, but Brentford wanted it more today. So just brilliant today from Brentford. Absolutely fantastic. We should be talking about Sunderland instead of waiting for the sacking announcement. Who on earth will take over? Tesco would have been better at Geordie than Red. Had Amorin played a 4-3-3, he would be great and his best players in the system. Who would you give the armband to? I'd give it to De Ligt or Cunha, I think, for me. We did okay. Look, mate, you won, my friend. I was a Brentford fan today too. Handy Flick would have put the fear of God into these plays, maybe. So, right. So let's just go for the game. Look, let's just go for the game today. So let's go for the game. So, first of all, let's go for the team. Amorin completely picked the wrong team. I think he's doing it on purpose now. Dorgu had a bad game. De Ligt was probably one of the better players, but what else can he do? Maguire, he's not a starter anymore. Luke Shaw can fuck off. I mean, look, you're playing Maguire and Shaw. This is 2025. We're playing 20. It's 2025, and Amorin is still choosing Maguire and Shaw. It is sabotage, absolute sabotage. And we had a Delo on the right. Look, he's got no options. He's playing this back three. He's got no options, right? Delo played again horrifically awful. I'm just going to quickly give these players scores and then we can move on, right? How well can Casemiro get banned and Maine still can't get on? Exactly. So he decides to play Ugarte. Ugarte was okay, not great today. Fernandes, forget him, forget about it. The disappearing man again. Absolute no leadership, no injection of pace into this game. You know, the penalty was sabotage, was done on purpose, petulant, nothing at all, blaming everybody else. Cunha, ineffective. Mbumo, ineffective. Shesko looked all right. When he got the ball, he tried to do stuff, but what else is he supposed to do? Scored his goal, I'd argue, probably one of our better players. Mason Mount come on, did nothing. Yora come on, did nothing at all. In fact, I'm not even going to score the players today. I'm not even going to give them a score. Amorin made mistakes from the setup of the team wasn't right. He's not listening. He's still persisting with his back three. He's still persisting with that midfield pivot. He's not playing Mainu. I think is a mistake. Ugarte and Mainu. I think if you have to play those, you have to play them together. Bruno doesn't want to play for him anymore. These players today. What you saw today was the real players today. And what you saw today was a mixture of frustration. What you saw today from Amorin was, as he clearly said in the conference, you don't know what you're going to get from these players. And that showed today. Do I blame... Where was Amorin for me in the wrong today? And Leo, you are spot on, mate. Let's have a look. When they cut to Amorin yelling the players, it looked like they don't care. Exactly. I agree. How in the world can Casemiro get banned and Manu not play? Was it the managers or the players? Well, both. Wayne today, it is the both. But look, this is not a problem, right? But we'll come on to that. He has options. Look, Andrew, he's got options, mate. But in the way that he sets his team up, he hasn't given himself options. There's nobody that can play on that right wing back side. And that's the problem, that he's got options, but what I'm saying is that in the system that he's decided to play is limited options. And as you say, Rashford's now gone. You can't even inject that pace in to the team anymore. Maguire sulking when he came off the pitch and didn't deserve to be on the pitch. I agree with you. Luke Shaw couldn't keep up with the under nines. I agree. Question is, you don't pick Shaw and slab it. Who do you play? I would. Do you know what? Euro and Heaven for me. I'd rather even play a kid. Matt came on, was scared to pop a hip. Exactly. It's a shame supporters can't get a refund. Exactly, Wayne. Brentford were never going to make this midfield battle. They went through the midfield. So exactly. So today was a combination of Amorin's stubbornness. I think it was a sabotage between Amorin playing these players in positions that he knows they can't play. Look. This is Amorin basically telling the club he wants to be sacked. If you look at Amorin today, you look how can a manager look at the floor when his players are playing? He's not interested. He knows these players are not interested in him. He knows they're not playing for him. His captain has no respect for him. The players today they've down tools. These fucking players again. Now, we can call Amorin. I want these players out. I don't trust it. I fucking hate these players. I mean, I don't hate. Okay, I don't hate these players. I can't stand these players. I can't stand them. I cannot stand these players. They've done it time and time again. Dalot, Shaw, Maguire, Fernandes. How many managers have they sacked? And those are the leaders in the group. And I know we say there's only 4 players, but those guys are the senior pros. They absolutely destroy this club. I want these players gone. They are horrendous. I mean, Amorin is going to take the blame for this. Look, Amorin is gone. Okay, I think we need to basically forget about it, right? Amorin is gone, right? But the scariest thing and the most horrific thing is no one's talking about these players. It's always Amorin. It's Amorin, absolute Amorin. Andrew says, so if you don't have players for this system, you don't have 24, 48 hours, maybe choose a system that suits your players for a game or 2 until they're back from injury. Andrew, I agree with you. And I'm not letting Amorin get away with this. Amorin, look, it is too late. Amorin has sacked himself. The only thing I would implore him to do is adapt your system. Look, I don't think it's formation. I don't think it's system. But it is when you don't have the players to play the system. It's so simple. I believe his system and formation will work and has worked. But it can't work with these fucking players. These players drive me mental. The players that don't want to play the system infect this team. One performance can impact this team. We've got the same team that finished 15th last season. What is he supposed to do? They've strengthened in the wrong areas. They haven't given him players that he wants. What is he supposed to do? Amorin wants out. Amorin wants out of this club, and I wish he would walk. I wish he would walk. Amorin wants out, but then once Amorin's gone, my question is, and again, like the game, just to finish off the game, right? Let's just finish off the game, and then I'll come on to the chat, and then we can talk about, and I'll tell you why I'm Amorin in. But Amorin in doesn't mean what you think it means. It was United crumbled from minute 5 because what United like to do is come out all guns blazing and try to blow teams away, right? Brentford were not up for that today. They matched them, and you could see there was no passing. The passing was awful. Fernandes was terrible. Defensively, we were shocking. The keeper was probably the best thing about the defence today. Maguire was slow. Luke Shaw was slow. I mean, another manager, look, when they come in, I beg and plead to get those two dickheads out of this side. Luke Shaw is done. Maguire was sat on the bench sulking. These two players, every time I see them, they make me want to gouge my eyes out. I cannot keep seeing it. It is horrific. Amorin did not play. It loathes me to say it, but you have to change your formation now because these players cannot do it. Dorgu was ineffective again, impacted by the players behind him. I know Ugarte, headless chicken. Fernandes, he couldn't lead a horse to water, that prick. He's just done. Cunha tried as he might, but he couldn't. Mbeumo was, again, they know how to deal with him. Šeško was probably the best thing. It was an abject, it was the worst performance. I'm just going to say this was the worst performance that I've seen from this side. I didn't think it could get any worse, and it's got worse. It's just got real. And today for me, we get bantered on here a lot about relegation. We get bantered on here about being down. Today was a turning point for me. Today was a turning point for me. We play like this, we will go down. And that today was, and I wanted to take some time after the game. I'm normally, look, we've got too much quality in this team, right? If we continue to play like this, and these players continue to play like this, in this way, we will go down. These players are playing to get this manager out. I just want you to think about this for a second. There are two factors here at play. Amorin is sabotaging this team because I think he wants to leave. And these players are sabotaging Amorin because they want him to leave as well. And I just want to think about that for a second, right? How fucking disgusting is it, again, that these players are going to get another manager sack? Now, the reason why Amorin wants to leave is because of these players. These players are low IQ, low mentality, bottle wasters. They're infecting Cunha. They're infecting Šeško. Mbeumo's been affected. These players are a fucking waste of time. And I try to support these players. I'm done. Fernandes should have got... I said this, and this is out there. Many of us have said this. Amorin has died on this. And this is his fault, by the way. If Amorin is going to get sacked, this is his own fault. Because this is what he chose to do. He begged Fernandes to stay. You cannot... Any manager in this club who's backed one player, Rashford was Ten Hag's. If you back any of these players, they will let you down. And Amorin, you've sacked yourself because what you've done is you don't know these players. You've sacked on a decision that you made when you had your chance to purge this team, properly purge this team, get rid of one of the biggest problems that we saw last season, and you failed. And you've been sacked, and you're going to be sacked because of this obsession with Fernandes. And guess who's going to be here again? And guess who's not going to be here? Fernandes will be here. These players have sacked yet another manager. Amorin is going to go. He's not going to survive this. And these fucking players, yet again, which will get away with it time after time. Luke Shaw will still be here. If Amorin goes, Luke Shaw should be sacked. Maguire should be sacked. Bruno should be sacked. Wilcox should be sacked. Omar should be sacked. They should all go together because it's an absolute fucking failure. Let me go through some of these chats. My 11 for Sunderland: Shesko, Mbumo, Bruno, Mainu, Casemiro, Mount. Wing backs: Ahmad, Dorgu, Delit, Yoro, Heaven, Lamens. Ahmad won't play. Getting another manager is exactly Wayne. And I'll come on to that as well, Wayne. Amorim's not concerned about United's future. I don't think he is, mate. I'm the problem solver of this team, Samuel. I'm the saviour of the team. Sadly, mate, you're not. Wayne, it is a roll of a dice. The last roll they come up with was a 1. I'm betting they can roll a higher one. I know the biggest problem of the team, Samuel. I think that is obvious, mate. I think Amorim wants to go. Besides that, we're never going to get anywhere with this ownership. I keep forcing a manager to play his players. I'll come on to that as well. Amorim not concerned about the future. United have collected 34 points from Amorim, 33 league games in charge, and still have yet to win successful matches back to back. He never got back from the get-go. Exactly. Casemiro and Mount are inconsistent. I play a 4-2-4. He should stay for the payday. Yeah, Pete, but he should, mate. Chris Robinson says, Sunderland fan here. Thoughts on next week? Sunderland thoughts on it. Look, Chris, right? I thought Sunderland, I know disrespect, Sunderland, historically not done well at all. He bought a load of players, and I didn't think Sunderland were going to. I thought Sunderland were that sort of bought all these players because just because you can you could have bought these players. Sunderland are going to beat us. Look, I don't trust this team. The way this team, and look, we need to bear in mind, right? We have a week between games. What the fuck are we doing? Like, what are we doing between games? We've got a week. Amorin has a week. Like, this is how I know that this is the players, mostly the players. Amorin has had weeks and weeks and weeks to get the tactical side into these players. These players don't want to do it. This is what's baffling me. Amorin picking this team is baffling me. The only way that I can describe it, look, Amorin is an astute, clever guy. We cannot take that. He's doing this on purpose because he wants the sack and he's going to get his way. But these players, look, I don't mind getting beat, right? I don't mind losing games. What I cannot accept are these players down in tools again and just not playing. There's a professional level of pride that whatever you do, even if you're not having your best game, there's a certain level in life that you do. Like, there are times, right, when, like today, I don't feel particularly great. I've got a bloodshot eye. I've been feeling like crap the whole week. I still went to work. I've still put in the effort. I'm still a dad. I still took my kids to the club today. I still cooked them food. I still did what I'm supposed to do, right? I went to work. I'm paid to work. I've got to earn money for this family. You guys have to go to work. No, I'm not special. You guys have to work. You guys have to do the things that you do, even when sometimes you can't be bothered. These fuckers are paid millions and millions of pounds to kick a football on a pitch and give their best for 90 minutes, and they can't be bothered. That's the only job that they've got this season because they were so bad last season. They have one game a week. They train, and then the rest of the time is theirs, and they still can't be bothered. How is that on Amorin? The formation, you can blame him, fine. But how is that performance on the coach today? You can't coach mentality. You can't coach IQ. You cannot coach a player to be bothered. And that's what we saw today. That is not that performance. That performance on the pitch today was controlled by the players and not the coach. And every performance that we've seen, the Grimsby game, people forgetting about the Grimsby game. You don't need tactics in that game. What you saw against them was what you saw today. You saw players that will turn it on and off whenever they want to. And this is why the players are the problem. The players are not the main problem, but the players are the problem of this club. And I want to see those players gone before this coach. I'm looking into my crystal ball and I can see a waistcoat in your future. Hi, Tulip. It's a circus at this point. It really is. You don't just pay for money, you play for the club as well. Exactly. Amorin refusing to start the men's or Euro. It's Tulip, it is. I am now. I will not be dissuaded on this. Amorin wants out. And he's deliberately sabotaging this team. And as I said, if that's true, Amorin has to go. It's as simple as that. The Bromley Biker said, a Birmingham fan here. Welcome. I'm in no position to lay into United. But what on earth is going on in that club? Sack Amorin and get Southgate in. Oh, my God. Please, no. It's been happening for years. Exactly, Pete. Amorin needs to change his system. For the first time, John, I'm going to agree. I don't think there's anything wrong with this system, but he does need to change it. Is Lemens even that good? Who knows at this point? I don't completely agree with that. Amorin will not change his tactics. 3 at the back isn't working. It isn't. Why is Amorin playing Bruno out of position? Because he's stubborn. Because he's basically tried to build a team around him. He thought Bruno was an ally. Bruno stabbed him in the back, as today's proven. Amorin has no allies. He's lost the fans. He's lost the players. Amorin is done. Amorin is done. To be fair, Cunha had an attitude problem. I don't think it's Cunha. I don't think it is. He wants to be sacked. He won't walk because he won't get his money and what's left in his contract. Agreed, Wayne. Agreed, Wayne. Agreed. Pete says it's always going to take a few windows to clear. Exactly, Pete. But he's not going to be given the time. He won't be and look, Amorin should be given time. Any manager that comes to this club should be given time. These players will not give a manager time. Unless you do what these players want you to do, they will sack you. And that is what's happened here. Stubborn coaches like Amorin don't last long. Look, Austin, whether you're stubborn, right, let's give you some examples, right? Jose went and basically played survival football, got sacked. Ollie came in, played these players, but they wanted to play. He got sacked. Ten Hag at the end, survival football, played these players in their positions that they chose. He got sacked. Amorin is doing the thing his way, and guess what? He's getting sacked. So these players, these players. They are the players. The players are not the fundamental issue here. The players are the issue. Amorin's stubbornness is the issue. I can see what Amorin is trying to do, but it's not going to work. You will not get what you did at Sporting will not work here. You will not win over these players, and that's what's got you sacked. Be quicker, saying who would stay exactly. Sunderland next week, trash us. United team on holidays from here. You need players like Foden. We need players, mate. We need players who want to play for the badge. Hope the kids are supporting City. George Holtman says Amorin is definitely part of the problem, but most of it does come from the lazy players. Look, I'm not giving Amorin a pass on this one. I'm not giving him a pass. What you saw today was sabotage from him. Look, he's had months to learn, and he's not learning. Or he is. Amorin wants out. You're on the bench with Pure. I agree with you. Agree with you. Matthew Reese says, hi, hello, my friend. Hope the kids come up and say, I support City now. Anyone even see Luke Shaw to say, look, Luke Shaw. Look, I've been saying this since the start. I've been saying it from pre-season. Pre-season, I've been saying it. Absolute waste of time. You have to keep your head above water, try and survive today. Exactly, Wayne. Right. What Amorin hasn't learned. If you want if you want windows to build your team, right, you've got to survive. You almost have to toe the line with these players, these little scumbag players. You've got to make them think that you're on their side, and then you sell them. What Amorin did wrong was he thought that he had complete power, and then he thought these players would respect him. And I think he thought that Ineos were going to buy him players. He didn't. They didn't. So he's gambled and he's lost. Amorin just said, Amorin has just said he's not concerned about his job. Well then, Rob, if that's true, then Amorin can fuck off. Like, look, right, Amorin should be concerned about his job, right? If Amorin is not concerned, go. Fuck off as well. Like, I support. I support him. Amorin in, and I'll tell you why in a second. But if Amorin has said that, then he goes. Fuck off. I don't want anybody here who thinks that they're bigger than this club. He should be concerned. He should be proud to have this job. He should have pride in this job. He should be cared. He should concern. He should be concerned. And if he says that he's not concerned, fuck off as well. Like, I've got no time at this point for managers and players who don't want to be here. These players today, I would sack them all. Other than a couple, this is why we need to rip this up and start again. Robbie's concerned because he's not bothered if he stays or goes. Exactly. Big fat no to Southgate. In hindsight, knowing what you know, would you have kept Ten Hag? No, Brummy. No, Ten Hag wasn't the guy either. And let me get through the chat, and I will tell you Ten Hag, Van Gaal, Moyes, and I'll tell you what the problem is. I still can't see how you're Rúben in, even though you were saying your point. Look, I will come on to why I'm Amorin in, because it's not Amorin in. Right, I will make it make sense. I didn't see Palace against Liverpool. Us and United sort of bonded. What's your thoughts on Big Sam just trying to retain your Premier League status? Hilarious. I think it can be easily fixed. Just sell the players who can be sold, get Amorin out. It's bigger than that. The players, no, they won't be sacked. Exactly. Chelsea Blue says Jose Mourinho said out of his own mouth he was waiting for United to basically, they stuck with Amorin and signed Jose with Benfica. Nah. Did you guys miss Jose say before he signed when Benfica that if a legendary club came in, he finished lower mid-table? Nah, he's not for me. I've heard we have a new manager. Mark Goldbridge has put 5. I've played. I've heard we have a new manager. Goldbridge has put 5. I've played the game. I played the game. Goldbridge. Don't even get me started. Champers. Oh yeah, lovely champers. Oh yeah. Don't even get me started on him today. He sits down, doesn't even watch the penalty. Exactly. At the end of the day, champers. He's used to sell Bruno, Yoro, Maguire, everyone except Ahmad, Heaven, and Boom and Cunha. No, what Ferguson's built has all been crumbled. Exactly. Only concern I have by whom we replace Amorin with a top manager who would really want this job. There's no danger of that, my friend. Would you personally want Jose back? No, thank you. He's the last of the old guard who's still active. Nope. Would you have Glasner, George in a heartbeat? I'd have him in a heartbeat. Goldfish chatting bubbles as always. Exactly. Amorin Maresca should be managing in Kirsten. Right. So why am I Amorin in? And I'll tell you why I'm at Amorin in. Okay. If there was another word to present Amorin, I would. Amorin in to me represents all the other managers that have failed at this club. And why have they failed? Because of the Glazers. What we are seeing now, okay, is we are seeing what was foretold 20 years ago. What we're seeing now is I foretold this before I started on here. I foretold this for many, many years. Eventually, the Glazers will run this club into the ground. And what we are seeing is the culmination of what happens when owners don't give a shit about this club. The Glazers have come into this club, saddled us with debt, and created a culture in this club that's been 20 years in the making. This club is rotten to the core from top to bottom. You have, as Wilcox said, and I think people have missed this, and he came to the club 18 months ago, there is no link between the owners, the manager, the players, the academy, nothing. This club is rotten to the core. The manager and the players are secondary. These owners do not care about this club. They've not invested it. What people don't get and what people don't like is when you say, I know people who work in the club, or I know people. I've known people, I know people who've worked in that club. I don't get any inside info about players because I don't know. I couldn't tell you any inside stuff. I've heard the odd bit, but what is the most important to me? The internals of how this club works, rotten. Everybody hates the Glazers. Their internal systems are awful. What they use to run the club, what they expect their club to do, the little that they give the people that run the club. It's been an unhappy club for many, many years. They've saddled us with debt, which means that our capability of buying players, they bought players on debt. All they basically do is they buy players on a credit card. It's a bit like if you have a monthly card to pay your things off, and that's all they do. That is all they do. They take dividends out of the club, interest payments out of the club, which have totaled to over £1 billion. We're now £1.2 billion in debt because of the spending as well. So let's not pretend that we haven't spent money. We've had football people who weren't football people in charge. We've had bankers, and you can replace the B with someone else in this club. And they've spent the money in the complete wrong way. They've not invested in this club correctly. They've gone out and bought name stars with no background checks. They've put ego after ego after ego into this club, and then because of that, when players like Rashford come through, they're good for a bit, but they see their fellow professionals behaving in a way. It's created a culture of player power. It's created a culture of toxicity. It's created a power of people who've been overpaid. There's no consequence for these players who don't perform. They get these big deals, big cash, wasted, and then we repeat the cycle. It's just created a culture of overpaid, underperforming, and that's just the standard. There's no consequence to these players. Now, when you lump on top of that managers, okay, who've got these ideas, they've not been backed. They've wanted to get rid of players, sack players, get rid of these players or sell the players. They've been told no by the hierarchy, by the owners of this club who know fuck all about football. They've been told that they cannot sell these players. So they've had to suffer these players. And then what happens is the managers get sacked. They buy new players. They waste more money. So they've lumped. So all we've done throughout these last 10 to 13 years, instead of galvanizing as a club and having owners who just want to do the best, they've just thought that they thought it was an endless money pit, because they don't understand. If you don't qualify for the Champions League and you don't win the league and you lumber a team with debt, your effectiveness in the market is reduced because you cannot buy players. FFP, PSR absolutely tied their hands down. So what we've come to a point whereby 2 years ago the Glazers had no money left. The debt at this club was so much that we were losing money. So what they then did was go out, because they had this deal that they knew they had land and wanted to basically invest in this land. We had an opportunity with Qatar to get rid of the debt and become something different. And Sir Jim and Ineos decided to come into this club and fucking destroy it. And that is what they've done. They've come into this club. The debt was not cleared. You can argue that Sir Jim, why should he clear the debt? Well, don't get involved in this club. They have made poor decision after decision after decision. They bought Ten Hag, £300 million of players. They sacked him. They've gone and bought £200 million of players, which they didn't need all these players. We needed players, but they bought the wrong players. That's another 200 million. So they've wasted £500 million on these players. The team that we've got, finished 15th last season. We're still playing. We're still playing the same team that finished. They got a manager in. Amorin is the wrong manager, the completely wrong manager for these players. Amorin is a good manager. His system works, his formation works, but not with these players. Amorin, his character is not right for this club. He's stubborn. But again, this is what happens when you do not do your homework on a coach. They thought he could come in and work wonders. Ineos thought we actually had good players. The scary thing for me is that Ineos thought that we had good players, that any manager could come in to this team, any world-class or good coach could come in. They've moved us away from playing a back four, playing a back three in a system that none of these players can play. They're low mentality, low IQ, and they cannot play this system. Fast forward, then you've got a coach who's trying to make these players who refuse to do it, who have sacked manager after manager, and Amorin is playing them in the wrong positions in a system that they don't like. I don't completely blame them. I blame them for their mentality. I blame them for how they perform on the pitch. But if you've got players that don't know how to play your fucking system, don't play your system anymore. Adapt. And can Amorin adapt? I don't think he can. Amorin is out of his depth. He's out of his depth in terms of the league. I don't think he understands the league. But the reason why I let Amorin in, I'm not necessarily Amorin in terms of keeping the manager. But Amorin is the least of our worries. Amorin is not the problem. It is first and foremost the Glazers, these fucking leeches, Sir Jim and his footballing excellence. What a load of crap that is. And then the players, and then but it's always the coach. You know, these you don't see Sir Jim coming out and talk. You never see the Glazers. They're all hiding, and Amorin is the guy that's taking the blame and the flack. And he's the least part of this problem. What is he supposed to do with these players? He hasn't been bought his team. He's come into this club hoping that he would get his team, being able to show what he can do. And once again, this toxicity, the toxicness in this club has is going to destroy some new players that we bought. They've destroyed another manager. And what happens? We do the same fucking thing again. These stupid arsehole players sack another manager and they will continue to play on. Bruno will still be here. Luke Shaw will be here. Maguire will still be here. Dalot will still be here. And another manager is gone. And we will be here next year when Amorin goes. And I'm going to say this now. You can clip me up. I'm going to clip this up. Right? We will be here again. It doesn't matter who we get. We will be here again next year. Would you put no? Let's have a little look. Amorin and Maresca should be out. I agree with you. United says no players, they've abandoned their academy. The Glazers literally sold United as a merchandise empire, sold some of the image rights to make them more revenue to fund the club, and instead took out loans. Exactly. I agree with you. If Amorin stopped playing favourites, he'd be better. Agree, mate. Agree. Cold logic. The players should be banned from social media. Get out and play golf like the old days. They were hated by Tampa Bay Buccaneers, players and fan base. They were horrible in the NFL until so Brady went there. Look, I could tell you stories about that as well. Many stories about that. The last season I hosted 3 games, perks on my old job for customers of a logistic firm. I spoke to an ambassador of the club, Dennis Irwin. Oh, look, whoa. Right, so Brummy Biker, hold horses here. Last season, I hosted 3 games, perks on my own job. I spoke to ambassadors like Dennis Irwin. You spoke to Dennis Irwin. I fucking love Dennis Irwin. He's one of my players of all time. All spilled the beans and how toxic. I support you, Brummy Biker. I support you. The owners need to sign an entire team to start over. Adding players into this culture is a waste of money. Talent, I agree. Tell your people's next manager we going to get another year down the exactly. I hate Sir Jim. LVG stayed so long because he was teaching the Glazers how to run a club. Now Amorin's staying because Ineos think that he knows Nah. Amorin's going, mate. Amorin is only staying because Ineos don't want to admit a yet another fuck up. Look, this is Nice all over. Ineos, this is Nice all over. I got berated, right, for saying that the transfer window was a 3 or 4 because I thought it was shit. I thought Ineos weren't great. I even said, let's wait to see what happens in the league. I said I hope I'd be proved wrong. I'm not being proved wrong. Ineos are shit. Ineos are awful owners. Well, awful part owners. This is on their watch. This is horrendous. This is on them, completely on them. They had sack innocent staff. Yeah, Jim ain't fixing this. No. Do you know what, Pete? I'd rather give it to Jimmy to fix, to be honest with you. Amorin, when he had Quenda, Gyökeres was beating City, but that's before. Yeah, I agree with you. Amorin and the World Ranks beat City 4-1 with Sporting. Exactly, because we haven't got the plays. JB, analysis on the club and managers 100%. You have summed it up there, mate. Look, that is just, that is just, to me, that's a logical perspective to have. Doesn't mean that people need to agree with it, but that's my view. Amorin would have been sacked by West Ham long ago if he'd have taken that job, just like Gyökeres has been found out. United need a bit more than marginal gains, cold logic. I agree, and that's why that clown was sacked as well. The Glazers made us Americans look horrible as owners. The American Chelsea owners can at least sell players. Agreed. No, look, agreed. I mean, look, Chelsea are, I don't know what they are right now. Chelsea's scattergun approach. That is the problem with Chelsea. Going out and buying every player under the sun. Sometimes less is more. But, Binder literally dives out of the way of shots and makes himself as small as possible. That's unsustainable in the Prem. I agree. You can't compete, says rinse and repeat. Exactly, JB talking facts. I think so. The Glazers are known as slum landlords in the US, buying shopping malls and letting them fall into disrepair, collecting the profits. Exactly, mate. I've been saying that for a long, long time. It's like you've got to start from scratch. Look, one of the things that I put on here when I was looking at this, right, is that the only way this is saved. So I wanted, again, let's talk about, look, let's get into this tonight, right? How would you say, right, what I want to know, and if you're not a fan of the club, you tell me, when Amorin gets sacked, okay, I'm Amorin in. I'm supporting him because it is not the manager, right? So this is what I am Amorin in. It is not the manager, right? You tell me, who do we get in who's going to do better than Amorin, than Ollie, than LVG? Just tell me, because I just need to know. I need to know who's going to come in. And I'm telling you now, it's going to be Southgate. Southgate's free. Okay, Southgate will only want a wage. There's no money to pay a club out. Amorin is going to be free. Southgate is free, and Southgate will play these players. Southgate will play Luke Shaw. Southgate will not rock the boat. Southgate will be a shield for Ineos, who Ineos are a shield to the Glazers. Tell me who comes in and saves this team. I'm asking it. That's a question that I'm asking you guys. Let's have a little look. People don't understand what the Glazers did business and why it was literally 1% being legal. In the NFL, people didn't understand the depth of the loans they took. Look, Chelsea Blue, Malcolm Glazer, right, bought leveraged debt, as you know by the sounds of it, right? So he bought the Buccaneers on debt, and then he threatened to take the Buccaneers out of Tampa because he wanted a stadium built and he didn't want to pay for it. So Tampa created a tax to charge the people of Tampa to build the stadium, to keep Tampa, because as we know, a franchise in a state is a big deal. And then they now charge people £30,000 just to seal it. It's like a subscription fee thing, right? And then they took that model and they use it here. They bought United on leveraged debt, never paid a penny for it. They use their assets because billionaires, what people need to get is that when people are that rich, they don't spend money. Everything is bought on debt. And do you know why everything is bought on debt? Because you don't pay tax on debt. This is precisely why when you're a billionaire, if you've got an asset in the accounting world, an asset is something that brings you long-term economic growth, right? So what that means is if you buy an asset, you can use that money to then buy another asset and you don't pay tax on it, unless there's a house. So they took that and they used their asset, the Tampa Bay, as collateral for the bank. So if they don't pay, the bank can come and take the Buccaneers. They bought United with that money. So which basically means that all they have to do to own the club, and bearing in mind what they got with the club is not only they got the brand, not only did they get the physical team, that's probably worth. So when they paid that cash, they also got land as well. So don't forget that they also got land. So with the brand, this is why they were pushing the Super League as well, right? So even if they didn't pay, even if they didn't pay their loans and the bank foreclosed and sold the club up, they'd sell the club for a couple of billion. The bank would get their money back, and the Glazers would get the rest. Like, it's a no-lose situation for them. So they don't care about this club. They've never had to put a penny of their own money. Yes, we have spent billions of pounds and wasted billions of pounds, but it's our money. And Chelsea Blue is right. These Glazers are fucking leeches, and they've destroyed this football club. And it's such an easy. It is the low hanging fruit of a simple mind to go. It is the manager. It is these players. Yes, if we're talking from a football perspective, but if we're talking about how do we move on as a club, what do we do to move on as a club? The only way for us to get better and compete in some way, shape, or form is we need to start again. We need to get these Glazers out of the club. We need to get Ineos out of this club, and we need to start again. We need to rip it up and start again. And unless that happens, you can change the manager 50, 60,000 times, buy new players, put them in to this club. It is not going to change. The manager and these players are the least of the problems. On the pitch, I know that is where the primary business is on the football pitch, but it's not going to change. It's not going to change. Amorin is out of his depth in the Premier League. Go back to Portugal. He sent 2 good players to other clubs and they're doing very well. Yeah, but that logic is flawed, isn't it? Because Rashford was here for 8 years and had 2 good seasons. And Anthony wasn't played by the manager that bought him. Erik ten Hag got Anthony at Ajax, brought him here. Anthony was so bad that the manager who brought him to Ajax and then brought him here, wanted to invest all that money in him, didn't play him. Rashford is his own problem. You know, the only one I will concede, the only one that I will concede that it was a bad decision was Scotty McTominay. He's the only one. Was anyone else surprised that Sancho was back in the net today after being sent off against us? It's like red cards don't matter anymore. Look, they don't care, do they? I'm not a fan of United, but I hate when the league doesn't have United being good. And I hate the Glazers did to the fans, even when making the club private. Chelsea, look, mate, I agree with you, mate. I really, really do. Conte should have got him long ago and wouldn't have had to lose so many top players. I agree. Look. What's a German coach going to do here? Rangnick was an accomplished coach, a German coach, right? Rangnick came into this club refreshing, right? Refreshing coach to come into this club. He gave his ideas. He told them exactly what he thought. And guess what happened to Rangnick, the accomplished German coach who taught Klopp, was the father of that pressing style of football. He got sacked. So, disagree with you. Glasner plays a similar system. Look, Cold Logic, I don't disagree, mate. You bring Glasner, I guarantee you we'll be here next year. Look, until these fucking owners are gone, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Keane is available. Wait for Fletcher to bring through the next, like Southgate did with England. Scary. The only manager that can handle United would be like Ancelotti, Conte, Fabregas. No. Look. Until we get rid of this ownership, which is not going to happen, until we get rid of Bruno, until we get rid of Luke Shaw, until we can purge this team of those players, it doesn't matter who you bring in to this club. Poch or Southgate, do you know what? I think you're right. Asking me to pick between Poch or Southgate is asking, do I want to be punched in the face, or do I want to be punched in the balls? Depends on what you like, right? Somehow buying a debt is legal, exactly. Which I don't football fans understood what they truly did. It was awful, But again, though, that is what you're allowed to do. You're allowed to buy something on a leveraged debt. It's as simple as that. Nobody might not want the job because it's a massive job to take on and very difficult. Wayne, we can't fool people anymore, mate. We can't do it. We can't do it. We cannot do it. The players don't like the system. They're not used to it. So that's a big problem we have. Amorin has tried to sell it to them and they're not buying it. Players just can't. It is exactly that. Like, Rob, they shouldn't need to be sold a system. Rob, that is a great point. These fucking players should not need to be sold. You play the system that I want you to play. If you can't play it, then fuck off. Like, if you can't play my system, can you at least try for the fans until I can sell you? Like, where's your personal pride? If these players don't want to be here and won't play my system, drop them and bring in the youth players. Like, drop them like a stone. If the next game, if Amorin is here and he's still playing Luke Shaw and Maguire and Fernandes, forget it. You understand what they did to the level I do because it did. I did research. Thank you for sharing it with people who don't understand. Exactly. Absolutely horrific. CH says, ha 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 ha. That's wishful thinking. They aren't going anywhere. Exactly. Give it Jazim to the end. Give it Jazim to the end of the season. I love it. My heart hurts for United fans. Relegation and then selling the team would be the best thing to happen. Unfortunately, they can have Cesc Como's situation. Look, if I thought going down would get rid of the Glazers and Ineos, I would have it tomorrow. I would, it's going to sound crazy, I would happily go down to League One if I knew the Glazers and Sir Jim and the debt was gone. The problem is that if we go down and we can't find somebody to buy the club, that debt is still over our heads, that's a danger. That is a danger completely. McTominay looks like prime Roy Keane, exactly he does. If Southgate comes in, it's a back eight. Southgate's coming in. Philip Rome says insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different results. Philip, I said that on the stream today. Agreed with you. Look, Amorin is doing it. Let's be clear on this. Amorin is doing it because Amorin wants out. Amorin wants to go. Ineos, I think, are holding him here against his will. He wants to be paid off. I think Amorin wants out. And if Amorin wants out and Ineos are not prepared to sack him, that is negligence on Ineos's part. Tough shit. You hired the wrong guy. You've got to now sack him. I genuinely don't think Ineos want to sack him. I think Amorin is doing everything he can to sack himself. I think he wants to go, but I think the tight-fisted Sir Jim is not sacking him because he doesn't want to spend the money. I genuinely think the ludicrous situation that we're in right now is that Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the biggest cheesy rat that you can meet, is not sacking this manager because he doesn't want to spend the money. So we are having to suffer now as fans. The coach who doesn't want to be here, the coach that doesn't like these players these players that don't want him, but he's not prepared to sack him because it's going to cost him too much money. It is ridiculous. Mark Hughes, caretaker manager until they find someone suitable to bring in, and don't rush things. Look, Sparky, mate. Sparky's not the guy. There is no guy here. There is no one here that can save this club. So do you know what? Put in Ollie, put in Rude, put in Carrick, put in whoever you want to. These players will turn eventually. So it doesn't matter. The second comes in, I'm supporting Macclesfield. Well, mate, you might as well get that Mackham shirt out because he's coming in. Palace players work so hard to cover each other's mistakes, but as it is, if United players anticipate the criticism and they just cover their own asses. Look, exactly, mate. Like United players, there is no accountability. Bruno Fernandes threw Yoro under the bus. Bruno Fernandes, for me, he will never watch this, but if he did, Bruno Fernandes, get the fuck out of my club. Get out. You are tainting your legacy, if you even have one. Get out. Bruno Fernandes, get out of my club. You are done. He'll never watch this. You are petulant. You are not a leader. You are arrogant. You throw your teammates underneath the bus. Do it in fucking private. Don't do it in front of millions of people. Get out. You are done at this club. I want you gone. You are the problem now. Get out of my club. Amorin it's the biggest joke since Keir Starmer. He's picking plays because they're Portuguese. No, he's not, Mark. He's not picking plays. He's picking plays because he wants the sack. And Mark Harris is a legend of this chat. Mark, what I'm going to say here is Mark Harris is partly right. He's been saying this now. Look, Mark was one of the first people to give me the time of day on here, and I've got a lot of time for Mark Harris on here. Mark's been saying this for the last 3 months, right? So I have to big it up to Mark. Mark, Amorin is not. Look, Amorin is a smart guy. Amorin is not picking these players for any other reason than he wants the sack. Like, Amorin is sabotaging this team. Amorin doesn't want to be here. He doesn't like these players. He doesn't like this ownership. He's been fucking lied to. These players don't like him. The fans are on his back. Amorin wants gone. Amorin wants gone. So David, look, David, I'm not going to go into it again, but I am Amorin in. But Amorin in is not about Amorin, which sounds dumb, right? This is about, it could be Amorin, right? It could be Amorin, it could be LVG, it could be Ollie. It is, I want the Glazers out before the coach. The players, yes, they're a problem. The coach is the problem. But the problem is not these guys. The problem is systemic. Like, just if you go back on the video, I tell you why I'm Amorin in. But it is not the coach. It is, he is now at the end as well. Like, Amorin is at the end. He's not going to survive. But I'm telling you now, Sir Jim doesn't want to sack this manager. He doesn't want to pay out again. I imagine in the space of a year, the accounts don't lie. They've already paid 40 million pounds to pay off Ten Hag. He's going to have to pay another 20 million. 60 million on sacking coaches. This is Nice all over. This is what people predicted. This is what I said. When Ineos take over, this is going to be like Nice. And this is what they've done. Again, they've got no fucking clue. So this is not about Amorin out. This is not even necessarily about the players right this second. The most important thing is it doesn't matter who comes in. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Bring in Zidane, bring in Xavi, bring in Southgate, bring in Big Sam. until these Glazers and Ineos are purged along with that debt, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens. Roman was an exceptional owner to me. He was. The future is bleak. The kids don't support the team in 15th, so we're going to see a sharp drop in the revenues when those kids have their own money. Exactly. That's exactly it, my friend. Exactly. Oh my God! Please sack the manager. I think you're missing the point. I really do. Bradley Barker. I've never seen a more dysfunctional team. You can't even call it a team. Every single week they look like 11 players who have met up on a plane for the first time. So strange. Exactly, Brummy Bear. It's called downing tools, mate, isn't it? They don't want to look. They only care about protecting their own asses. This is not a team. This is the team who are led by a toxic club who don't give a shit about the fan base. And that's the worst thing for me, is they don't give a shit about the fans. The fans are the least of their problems. They want to collect their millions and millions of pounds a year. They don't give a shit about. Was Bruno is probably one of the worst performances I've ever seen today. Absolutely horrendous. Ineos don't even want to invest in the women's team. The only team that are exceeding expectation. Exactly. You know, there is no thought for this club. There's no thought for the fan base. No thought for either team. It is disgusting. Philly Murphy says, "Hi, hello, my friend. Please hit the like and subscribe." Exactly, it does help us out, guys. It really, really does. Silent listener says, "One again, lad." Well done, Silent. Well done. The lunatic that owns Paris FC wants to compete with PSG. If United get relegated, he could clear the debt and buy the club. It would be a dream situation. But look, mate, look. No one's buying this club, are they? Let's be real. It's a very low IQ team. Can't manipulate refs. Don't stretch the rules. Don't anticipate danger. Don't even protect the opponent. Exactly logic. The mentality in this team is fucking horrendous. This team is our worst team that we've ever had. I thought the team that finished 15th last season was the worst. This is the worst team that we've ever had. We should have cashed in on Bruno, 100 million. Exactly, that's not going to happen. Can this club be turned around because it's in a mess? No way. Until these Glazers have gone, until the debt's cleared, the Glazers have gone, Ineos goes, this team can't be saved. This club is only going to go one way, and that is down. That's it. Radiate it. Remember when United won a treble? Good old days. Oh, mate, I was 16 years old. I went to a pub as well with some friends, and it was an amazing time that we'll never see again, sadly. Port Vale have a beautiful kit, just saying. I bet under 21s are better. I bet they are, mate. I bet the under 21s would smash this team. He knows nothing about the sport. He just loves big brands. He's a fashion billionaire who could be a billionaire that buys. He bought Paris FC only because he couldn't buy PSG. United played like VAR officials, finding ways not to score the same way VAR looked for reasons not to give a red card. I agree, exactly. So this is where we are today. I think this is beyond the manager now. I am Amorin in, because I don't believe that Amorin is the problem. Now, many of you would say that's crazy. This is beyond Amorin, right? It doesn't matter who we get. But just all I'm saying is just be warned. Be warned. It will be Southgate that comes in next. I also think that this is going to get worse, because I think that Sir Jim, it doesn't want to sack him. I think Sir Jim will keep him inside. Paul C said City. Yeah, City are 10th. So let me just put this out there. Right? We've had a horrific season. We're having a horrific season. The team doesn't want to play for the manager. We've got £1.2 billion in debt. We've got players who look like a mishmash of players. This is one of the worst teams I've ever seen. Absolutely horrific. But City fans, you're 3 points in front of us. So if we're having a shitty season, what does that say about you? That's look. That's all I'm saying. As look at the end of the season, if this continues, we will be in the bottom four. 100%. JB, wash your mouth out. I am with manager Heath, with the club, Gav Southgate, Pochettino. Look, Pochettino, mate. Look, nah. It doesn't matter. Like, guys, it doesn't matter. Get Xavi in. Get Zidane. Like Zidane, what is Zidane going to do in this team? There is more chance of Maradona coming back from the dead than Zidane coming into this team than winning anything with this team. Nobody is winning anything. Look, these players are shit. No one's talking about that. And this is what this club does so well. Nobody's talking about the owners. Nobody's talking about the players. Amorin is getting all of the flack. If I was Amorin, I would walk out. If I was Amorin, what I would do is I'd go to that club, I'd go and pour petrol all over the place. And as I'm walking out, the camera pans on him. He's walking out, he's got match, he flicks it over his shoulder, and the whole thing burns down. That is what he needs to do. As a fan base, we should be protesting. We should be absolutely protesting against this shit. I've had enough. Players get thrown under the bus because they're playing in their wrong positions, even though they're shockingly bad. I think these players are horrific. I want these players out of the club, but to a degree, they're being sold out because they're playing in their wrong position. And Amorin is the wrong coach. The match would probably blow out first. Exactly. We have a squad value in the top 6. Formation is not conducive to Premier League success. Look, our team is shockingly bad, absolutely bad. If in 2003 Euro fans would have beat the Glazers in the street like the Brazilian fans, yeah, but we just lapped it up. The fact that this fan base would rather argue amongst them. So, this is how I know. I see United always brings a smile to my face. Now, the home of relegation football, and when the word salad king keeps peddling 3-4-3 with players that don't have pace. I see. Welcome, my friend. Banter is welcome here. But I sort of agree with the last bit. Andrew says, managing this team is like trying to put pegs into square holes. Holes are sinking boat, though. Exactly, my friend. Exactly. Things always run in threes. Manager, players, owners. But if you have square pegs in square holes, the system fits that. Andrew, it's exactly what I've been saying. And you're right. His formation and his tactics work with right players, right? If you don't have players to play your system, for God's sake, buy yourself time and play a system that works for these players. If it goes against your principles, but you want this job and you know you're going to get a couple of seasons, for God's sake, play a system that you can get that time. Give yourself time. You've got these players, you can't play your system. I'm not saying that you have to pander to them, but you can only play with what you've got. If you want to play like prime, I don't know. If you want to play, if you want to play like Messi, right? If you're like, if you want to like, so if you're a team and you want Messi in your team and you want to play plays around a Messi type of player, but you don't have Messi and you don't have those players, you can't play a system. Like, you can't do it. It baffles me. It baffles me. What Amorin, just for the sake of trying to survive in this club, buy himself time, or Does Amorin know something that we don't? Does Amorin know that he's not going to get? Does Amorin know something that we don't know? Because why would he sabotage a job? Amorin knows something that we don't, and it's scary. It really scares me. I'm owning a team named Magnolia FC in South Carolina for the USL League 2 launching next year. Wow, nice one, man. That's cool. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I'm owning a team named Magnolia FC in South Carolina for the in League. Nice one, man. That's awesome. Nothing else is hammering out. Sir Jim has probably already put Southgate on standby. Ineos love him, and when he got the England job, he got the players. I think that's why he'll look. Rob, he'll get the job. Southgate's coming in. Amorin does nothing. Well, my club got bashed in the derby. And his formation and his tactics work in Portugal and against big teams in Champions League. They still work against big teams, but they don't work against. Exactly, Andrew. Mate, exactly. I'm fine that we are agreeing. Actions speak louder than words. I agree, Wayne. He'd be better off 4-5-1, 4-4-2, or Grimsby. Brighton says this coach must go because why refuse to change the system? Because Bruno is not he's a playmaker. I agree with you, but this is not on Amorin. You know, whether Bruno is a 10 or an 8, and let's talk about this. Whether Bruno is an 8 or a 10, right? I get it. But he's the captain of this team. There is no excuse for what he did today. There is no excuse for the penalty today. There is no excuse for what he did today. Whether he's a playmaker or not. First and foremost, Bruno Fernandes is not an 8 or a 10. He's the captain of this side. If you ask me as the captain of this side to play as a goalkeeper, I would do it. He's the captain. He's in a privileged position as a captain in this club. I don't give a flying fuck if Bruno is a playmaker or wants to play 10 or an 8 or, he wants the ball. He's the captain of this side and he should do what it takes to get this team firing. He is the manager on this pitch. And I don't care what he thinks he is. It's a privilege to play football. It's a privilege to play in the Premier League. It's a privilege to earn millions of pounds. It's a privilege to have adoring fans screaming your name. And it's a privilege more than any other club in the world, and this is my opinion, to captain this club. When you think of the captains who have captained this club over the last 50, 60 years, and he can't be, but I'm not asking for the world. Fucking play football. Have respect for yourself. Like, you never watched this, but Bruno, where's your pride, you fucking waste of time? Like, today was disgusting. You throw your teammates under the bus. Where is your leadership? You couldn't lead a horse to water. What a disgusting performance today. And this is not I don't care if you're one of the best number 10s in the world. You are shit in this team. You are not a captain. You are petulant. And I really don't care if he's I don't like the system. You're the captain of this team. It goes beyond system. It goes beyond the manager. You play for the fans and yourself. You don't play for, you don't play for you. This is, you're playing for the badge. You're playing for the people that fucking died for this club. You're playing for the captain. Where's your pride, man? Well, your pride is just disgusting. It changes nothing, but unless he changes his back three tactics, I agree, mate. I agree. Morobi. The logical choice would be Southgate, nutcase, since he was a kid. Look, mate, he's a joker. The USL is superior to the MLS. We have relegation, and it isn't a McDonald's branded messy joke league with a draft. There's a reason Pele played. Mate, look, keep me up to date, Chelsea Blue, on that, because it really interests me, mate. Look, just keep me on an update on that, because that's cool. Andrew says, I don't think they do love him. The old CEO you got from Newcastle wanted Southgate, but Ineos wanted Amorin, and they butted heads on the managers and players who were targeted. Bruno is a world-class player. He's the only one who's kept United. Nah, mate. No. Disagree. Nothing, guy. He's not a world-class player at all. There is a myth around Fernandes. He's done, mate. He's done. I'm not wasting any more than that, Wally. I played for a 4th division Polish team at 27, just turned 28, and I have a broken foot. I decided to start a club, proper football, none of that MLS crap. Amazing, mate. Amazing. The game is such a... Bruno does take a lot out of the game. He does. It's definitely the players, because the amount of managers they've had been sacked. I agree with you. Bruno has always been the problem. I agree with you, Scott. Thank you. Bruno is similar to Enzo Fernandez, arrogant and overrated. Strip Bruno of everything. I would, mate. United relegation battle? Not at the moment, no. Ask me that at Christmas time, then maybe, but not right now, no. Rivalries aside, banter from passionate fans. This is proper community. No, it is, mate. It is. Like, the one thing that we do here is we don't mind banter. I do not hide away from your questions. I will answer as many questions as are thrown at me, as much as I can. Just because I have an opinion doesn't mean that I'm right. Now, I am Amorin in, and people think I'm crazy. Go back over the video, because I have explained that. It's not about Amorin necessarily. It is about an impassioned plea to this fan base. We need to get rid of these owners. And until we do, we are never going to purge this club of what we've become. Hood Poetry says, United haven't won consecutive games in the Premier League since last season. I know it is ridiculous, mate. It is absolutely... It is unbelievable. It really is. Sean Malloy says, this league is crazy. With 3 points behind City, yet it feels like we are a million miles away. Sean Maloney, I agree with you, my friend. 100%. We are talking about... I just got here. Oh, bloody hell, mate. You are an hour and a half behind. So we are... Look, we've gone through the game today. The horrific game today. That was the loss today. A 3-1 loss. And then we're talking about the club. I am Amorin in, right? And I'm Amorin in not because I'm crazy, not because I'm mad, and not because I'm necessarily supporting him. He's doing a lot to sabotage his time, but this is more about... I am... In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change it. I am manager in, and I don't want to be necessarily Amorin in. I am manager in. So I think I'm gonna rephrase it. I am manager in. I don't want to see another manager sacked before there's accountability between players and the people that own this club. I want to see the ownership first of all be accountable, but then the players as well. These players today. What I'm going to say about these players today, whether you think Amorin, and I do, I'm critical. I think he got it wrong today. Whatever you think about Amorin today, and the way that he set us out to play today, he doesn't dictate what these players do on the pitch. He doesn't. These players don't play for the fans. They don't play for the badge. They don't play for the fans. Do your job. As Roy Keane said, Roy Keane never saw himself as a world-class player. Roy Keane did his job. Roy Keane has basically said he's never seen himself more than like a postman or someone else that goes to work. He always saw this as his job. These players don't see this as their job. These players don't care for us fans. They couldn't give a shit about this fan base. They don't care. If they did, you would not get that performance out of these players today. Bruno Fernandes is the biggest problem. When we're talking about problems at this club, Amorin is now a problem. Fernandez is a problem. Ineos are a problem. The Glazers are a problem. The toxicity in this club are a problem, and that is what our problems are. You won't get relegated. You haven't got to that point yet. I don't think so as well. People think I'm insane, but I think we should play Mark Gahey as a striker. He was scoring first hat tricks, got loaned to Sunderland, scored them, got record. Maresca doesn't play. Look, Chelsea need to do something as well, Matt. As I do. Ahmed says, as a Liverpool fan, I'm loving the United situation, but I might start feeling bad for you guys. Look, Ahmed, and this is the problem as well, right? The moment that you start feeling sorry for us, is that when we've lost, right? I don't want you to feel sorry for us. I want you to banter us. I want you to feel like we're a threat. But we're not, are we? Canna Dave says, greetings, my friend. Manager and players out, but not all of them. It's a difficult one for me. I am manager in. That's how I'm going to rephrase it. I am manager in. I want these players gone before the coach. The problem is the upper highs of the club. They spend crazy money on useless things and don't buy the necessary players that are needed for the system, as they care more about the business or money they make. Exactly. Sunderland are very interesting. I think they'll finish mid-table. Fernandez to Saudi for 60 million. I'd give him to him for a bag of crisps. United higher-ups feel like they don't watch football at all, or they don't care about their owner and team. Agree with you. Cande says, I fully back Amorin. He seems smart. You can't argue that a good manager would change tactics mid-game to win, and he refuses. So maybe look, Canadave, I am manager in. I'm Amorin in. I want these players gone before the manager. I want Ineos gone. It's not going to happen. Look, Amorin's gone. Amorin's gone. There's no point in me trying to hide it. I'd love to be wrong, but he's gone. He's absolutely gone. Sean Malloy says, yes, mate. Pro players not doing the basics. Delo's been awful. Delict been great, but was all at sea today. Not getting a midfielder and tactical inflexibility is going to kill Rúben. Exactly, Sean. Mate, I agree with you completely. If Amorin wants to go. It's clear. But what I don't get with Amorin, and he needs to explain it to me, is if you want to be here and you want time, just pretend to give some of these players what they want. These players need their bellies tickled. These players need that before they go to sleep at night. These players need to be told that they are the best players in the entire world. They need hugs and kisses. Oh, we are so good. Just give them that a bit. Get rid of them. But he won't do that. So he's forced to play these players because Ineos won't get rid of them. But he's so stubborn to the point where he's letting that cloud the judgment that he needs to be able to get rid of these players. And I said this decision with Bruno is going to get him the sack. It really is. I feel sorry for United, but not pity the fans, the players. The managers do not deserve what the Glazers did. I agree with you, Chelsea. I agree. Bruno on pens, to be fair to him, he does normally convert. It's not often he misses, but I do agree Bruno is one of the problems. He's a 10, and we have so many, so he can't be sold for me. Look, Rob, Bruno is an issue. Bruno's penalty today was sabotage. He did that on purpose. Bruno wants his manager gone. He does. I want him gone before the coach. Bruno is an issue. I don't mind Bruno not playing well, but what I will never accept from a United player is down in tools and not giving it your all, and that is what they did today. Johnny Hill said, to be honest, I can't have any sympathy for Amorin. As you said, he's trying to get sacked. That in itself is a toxic. Yeah, look, agreed. Teddy clings, man. Look, mate, thank you for the offer. I appreciate it. It's not my thing, but thank you. What do you feel about going against Chelsea for Mike Mignon? They're saying we shouldn't because we'll give him look. Nah, mate. Have him. It doesn't matter, mate. It doesn't matter. We're not going to go for him, and we won't give him 3 times the pay, mate. So he's all yours. Raymond says Shaw's injury record is worse than Phil Jones's, and he's played under 5 full managers. Why is he still here? Maguire and Delo starts criminal. Raymond, I agree with you. If you've watched anything that I've done, any match with him in, I can't stand the player. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but how can a player who's been through that many coaches, has that many injuries, start in these many games? It is criminal. I want somebody to study Luke Shaw, because I want to know what he's doing, because he's clearly doing that, isn't he? Clearly. What are your thoughts about Binder? Look, Binder's awful. He did well today. That the third goal, I mean, could he have looked any smaller? The guy's 6'5". He's awful. He is awful. Amorin doesn't get sacked before the Liverpool game. He might not. Good evening, all. Emmy's in the house. Good evening, all. Amorin out still. Johnny says, also, I look at Glasner at Palace, who plays the same formation but adapts to the place. He's unbeaten in the last 18. Look, Glasner is a fantastic coach. I wouldn't want to ruin him. I just wouldn't want to, and Glasner's, he's not coming here. Why would he? He's not going to come here, mate. I'd take him. I would take him, but he's not coming. And instead of spending 100 million on mid player, buy a young player or use academy youth. It's very underrated. I agree. I absolutely agree. But we won't do it. I don't know. We're talking about our academy like this amazing thing, but we don't do it. We absolutely don't do it, and I'm baffled right now. I really am. Binder at fault today for one of the goals. He's just not good enough to be number 1. I agree. Emmy, Johnny, big difference is that Amorin plays a 5-2-3. Glasner plays a 3-4-2-1. Bruno out of position. That's a big difference. Canada Dave says Bruno must have guaranteed play deal, and Amorin can't say it is the only explanation. Always giving him some of that. People that want Amorin to stay are biased or hypotheticals. The people that want Amorin to stay are basing it on hypotheticals. The people that want Amorin to go are based on evidence. Usman, I'll give you some facts, right? How many of this, right? These players, and not these players, but this toxicity that goes through this club, how many managers have they sacked? Right? How many managers have Luke Shaw sacked? How many managers have Fernandes sacked? Maguire have sacked? Right? I'm not basing anything on an hypothesis, right? I'm basing it on these fucking players sacking another manager. Look, facts today. This was the worst, most disgusting performance I've seen in a very long time. Facts. Bruno Fernandes is sabotaging this club. Facts. He could have been sold for 100 million and we didn't do it. Fact. Fernandes today was shit. Fact. Fernandes is one of the worst captains that we've ever had in this side. Fact. Luke Shaw has been injured for the majority of the last 6 years, but still gets into this team. Fact. Amorin is giving up on this team. Fact. These fans are giving up on Amorin. Fact. The ownership of this club are the worst owners in the Premier League. Fact. The Glazers have absolutely totally destroyed this club and put us in £1.2 billion of debt. Fact. The Glazers have never put money into this club. Fact. The toxicity that runs through this club stems from them and now through Ineos and now again back through this club. Fact. Then nothing is a hypothesis. Everything's based on fact. So what the fuck are you talking about? Like, these players have done it yet again. We go through manager. Players down tools, sacked, fact. Another manager comes in, players down tools, sacked, fact. Another manager comes in, these players cannot be bothered, sacked, fact. Amorin, again, stubborn, yes. These players have come through. Down tools again. They lost against Grimsby. Amorin will get sacked. Fact. Usman, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? I am managering. Amorin is not the problem. It is these players. Again, it's these players. Amorin. What people can't see is Amorin is doing this on purpose because Amorin wants out. Amorin doesn't want to be part of this shit show anymore. Amorin is done. As much as you, Usman, want Amorin out, Amorin wants Amorin out as well. Like, Amorin wants to go. It's clear. That's the only reason why Amorin is doing this, is because Amorin wants out. Amorin is Amorin out. Hood says, where's the passion by United's players? They know their spot is not in trouble. They agreed completely. Agreed. If Keane was in the locker room telling them what he thinks the players would cry, I agree with you. Played 33, lost 17. That's an awful for a team like Newcastle Palace, let alone United. 9 wins in 11 months. It is a joke. I mean, can't disagree with you. Ronaldo also criticised the environment when he came back. He said it feels like not playing for the club is very different. I agree. My dead mum could coach better than Amorin. Look, Emmy, we will agree to disagree on the coach. I respect the opinion, mate, but this is more than that, my friend. I am going to get for these chats, and then I am going to go. Shows how far we've fallen when you are certain Crystal Palace managers would join you. Yeah, but Usman, mate, it doesn't even make sense, right? So what you're saying, okay, so Usman, are Crystal Palace a better team than somebody, for example, in the Dutch league? I'd argue yes, right? Liverpool got slot from a Dutch league. What are you talking about, Usman? Again, what are you talking about? Liverpool went and got a coach from the Dutch league. Slot was in the Dutch league. We're looking for a manager who's doing well in the Premier League, who's won an FA Cup and is doing really well in the Premier League. Were they second? And we've fallen far because we're looking at a manager from the Premier League who's won an FA Cup and is doing really well with Palace. But Liverpool went to Holland and got Slot, who's a completely unknown manager from a Dutch league. Usman, what are you talking about, mate? Engage your brain before you open your mouth. Honestly, Ahmed, supporting United in real life is like supporting Ferrari in F1. I agree with you. To be honest, Eric Ten Hag trusted Manu and Garnacho. Amorin hasn't used anyone from the academy. I agree. Sean Malloy, a loss to Sunderland, who are flying, is something has to change. I'm a manager. I'm managering too. But why not try something different until you get the play? So, Sean, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Why not play a system? Why not play a system that's going to enable you to get to another window and get the plays you want? Sean, I'm with you, mate. I am with you. And then get rid of these wasters. Get rid of them. Wild World says, Amorin plays Bruno as a 6, then complains the team can't keep possession and ball, and his system only works if he keeps possession of the ball. Wild World, mate, I can't disagree. It's baffling. The only thing that I can think of, mate, is Amorin wants out. He wants a payment, and he wants gone. Remember, Ollie apologised for finishing second. Exactly. Elijah says, mate, every time you stream, you're wrong. It's becoming annoying as fuck with your prediction. Mate, every time you stream, you're wrong. It's becoming annoying as fuck with your prediction. Elijah, mate, fuck off. Look, Elijah, mate, if I'm annoying you, your comments are annoying me. I'm not going to share my LinkedIn with you. If you're telling me that I'm wrong, this is opinion, and you're telling me that I'm annoying as fuck. Fuck off. Nah. Eliza, what you get for that is that. Fuck off, mate. If Amorin was a fighter, he would refuse to use water to put out a fire. I agree with you. Luke Shaw would look like Prime R9 in Trinidad Football League. What are your social medias like Twitter and Instagram? That's a good point. I don't know them off by heart, mate. If you look at the channel, Chelsea, go to the channel, and in the bio are my X and my Outlook. So feel free to send me some stuff. Yeah. So I'm not Instagram. I am on Twitter X. So if you go to the channel thing, then it's all in there, mate. So feel free to give me a shout in there. If Amorin's fault and the player's fault too, but it's Amorin's fault and the player's fault. I agree with you. For Amorin, for this is not he doesn't adjust, but more for the players who don't just change it themselves on the pitch. I mean, I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. This is becoming to a point where it's an unattainable situation, right? You can't sack all the players, so who's the one that will go? Amorin. It's as simple as that. Liam, hello, my friend. Palace are better than most teams in the league at the moment, aren't they? 19 games unbeaten now. I think that includes 2 wins over Liverpool, who are the best in the world. We battered Burnley 5-1, Logan. Yes, you did. You absolutely did. A philosophy is a great, but a manager needs to find a way to win first. Liam, I agree with you, my friend. Usman says, I wish I could join you on the channel to debate you. I'm sure the viewers would enjoy it too. Usman, mate. Usman, I think maybe one day, mate. But right now, look, Usman, why don't you start up your why don't you go to YouTube, start up your channel, right? Build up subscribers, and then we'll chat. Like, I'm not going to give you a platform for no reason. I don't mind a debate with people. I'm happy to, but Usman, you will get destroyed. I'm not going to give you a platform. If you think that we are, look, I'm just going to quote you, right? Usman, you've said, right, that it's and I will not word for word, but you've basically said that we are a desperate club because we are looking at a Crystal Palace coach, right? That's how low that we've fallen because we are looking at a Crystal Palace coach. That was basically what you said, right? How far that we've fallen because we're looking at a Crystal Palace manager, right? Even though Crystal Palace are unbeaten in 19, beat Liverpool today, won an FA Cup, and Liverpool went and got a manager from the Dutch league in Slot and won a league. Mate, Usman, that argument has just been destroyed. You might as well not even attempt because you've just been destroyed, mate. It wouldn't be a debate with you. It would be a massacre with you. So I just wouldn't even bother. Arola would do some recovery. Maybe TaylorMade said another bad season or 2 will probably be good for you. One of the sheiks will snap up. Taylor, that's a good point, mate. Good point. I think Amorin just could be a blagger. Maybe. I'm losing faith in Amorin. Look, Eva 7, I can't disagree, mate. There are so many people are. Yishin says Galatasaray is the best. Look, mate, all fans on here are welcome. Look, Galatasaray are a very good team. Utter respect for the Turkish league. You know, utter. I agree with you, Taylor. Good evening, by the way. Nice cardigan, thank you. What do you think? Look, you should. I get asked this all the time. I'm gonna be fair on this one because I think I pretty much dismissed somebody, right? And I apologise to the person that said the same thing to me just because we just lost and I really didn't give a shit. Liverpool will win, but when they go to your ground, it's going to be difficult, right? It's going to be difficult. Can you beat them at your ground? Of course you can. I think Liverpool will win, but going to Turkey is a very, very difficult thing to do. The way that Liverpool have been playing, it wouldn't surprise me if you went and beat them in the Champions League. Do I think they'll win? Yes. But I think you've got a good chance. I do think you have. Delo's been crap for ages. I've got no excuses for him. I agree with you. Agree. Who's the most exciting player in the Premier League you feel would do good at United? Oh, mate, it doesn't matter really. I mean, who do I think would do good at United? I don't know, mate. It's such a difficult thing to even think about. It's so difficult because I can't really think of anyone. I mean, we need somebody in that midfield position, and I'd probably say it's not a glamorous thing, but I think I'd go for somebody like a Casido, Wharton as well. Palace. There is no Glass. I think Wharton for me. I think so relegation is what will release the grip of the Glazers. It's not right. Okay, Dylan. Relegation is what will release the grip of the Glazers. It's not the managers. If you walk and misplace simple passes, it's not the manager's fault or his system. It's down to the attitude of the squad. Dylan Birch, agree with you completely. Dylan, I think you're talking my language. Sadly, even if we went down, the Glazers will still be here. That is just fact. They will love it. Imagine we go down. The Glazers will love it. They won't have to pay any money. You'll still get the same attendance figures, really. Mate, I would absolutely love it. If we went down and the Glazers left, I would take it tomorrow. But I agree with you. When players cannot be bothered to chase back, they walk back, they can't do passes, that is not on the manager. It's not. City fan here. I really don't like seeing United like this. I want the City of Manchester to be the most difficult away game for opponents, not London or Merseyside. You Reds are embarrassing us. I know. Usman, look, mate. I'll happily debate anybody, right? I really couldn't care less, right? Challenge my opinion, mate, completely. Look, as I say, right? My opinion isn't the be all and the end all. It's just an opinion, right? Usman, would I lose? Possibly. Look, the good thing, Usman, about a debate, right? Usman, and I do respect your opinion, my friend. 100%. I respect your opinion. I think in a debate, two people debate, right? It's not us who decide that. I think, as you said that as well. But look, right? It is a time where this is why the Glazers win. It's because they've got this fan base spun around so much. But Usman, mate, legend. I appreciate the content. I appreciate you giving your comments in, and as per usual, Usman, you always put in a different view, which is always, I think, is great. Wolfmaid would do good, very technical, physical. Shaw, Maguire, Delo, Bruno, all the players which have played and all the managers, mate, they should all be sacked. They are the problem. They are part of the problem, and they all need to be bloody sacked. Bailey Reed says, brother, we need a keeper and a midfield. Agree with you, Bailey. I really, really do, my friend. Wesley Cooney says Potter would be a great manager at United. Wesley, don't depress me. Wayne says you're very passionate about your club. Wayne, I am, mate. I'm passionate about this club, but passionate about this fan base as well, right? Is that and other fans. You know, we watch this team. We invest our time. We invest our feelings in these clubs, and for these players not to want to play, I think is disgusting. Are they going to sack him? I think they are. I think they are. Bailey says no matter what manager comes in, they'll fail with the Glazers in charge. Bailey, agree with you, my friend. Agree with you. It's not the manager's fault when the players churn out a 4 out of 10 today. There was no exactly. Usman, for all the listeners, please make sure you should subscribe. Great show as always. Usman, legend as always, my friend. Thank you for being here. Can anyone tell me why Amorin has dropped Euro from Maguire? Because he's obviously got an issue. But guys, I am going to go. 2 hours is amazing. I absolutely feel like crap. In terms of football, what an absolute awful day today. One of the things I will say that cheers me up are people like Emmy, Usman, you know, Riva, you know, you guys cheer me up. This day is, you know, today, like at the end of the day, it's football, right? There are bigger things, but, you know, it can ruin your day. You know, this is, you know, what people don't get is that football, for some people, is the only thing that they've got. It keeps them happy, and it really impacts people's day, right? At the end of the day, champers, at the end of the day, champers, yes. At the end of the day, champers. You know, because can you imagine, like I'm going to say before my voice goes, can you imagine Sir Jim tonight, right? Imagine that. Well, at the end of the day, Rúben, you've lost the game, Rúben. I mean, do you really want to go, Rúben? Because, you know, we actually can't afford the millions of pounds. I mean, do you think that you could go to the end of your contract and well, then you can leave on a free champers? You know, I think we need to agree on that, Rúben, because, you know, even though, Rúben, you know, I think that Southgate should play. You know, I just think that, you know, Rúben, you should stay because, you know, it's going to cost me money, and I don't want to pay it out, Rúben. So, yeah, champers, Rúben, champers. I mean, look, these are the prats that are in charge of this club. You absolutely know that is what's going to happen. So, guys, I'm going to go. Legendary show, as always. You guys make it what it is. As I always say, if you are new to the channel, it's really important. In life, you can't buy time. You can't buy, you know, you can't buy health. And you don't have to be here with me. You don't have to comment. You know, we agree, disagree sometimes. We're passionate. Look, I apologise tonight if I've upset anybody, just because, you know, it's a passionate show. You know, I do. You know, we get passionate. It's absolutely. Thank you, Sean. You know, this is you know, I love debate. You know, I sometimes can be a bit too passionate, and nothing is ever done with anger, guys. You know, I love. We get so many different fans from different clubs in here as well. In fact, you interact with me, each other, give me time of the day, you know, and there are more important things in football. What I will always say on here is you don't need to come on and be vicious and that kind of stuff. Like, if you don't want to be here and this is not for you, don't waste your time. Like, you know, it doesn't matter. You don't need to be a staunch like fan to be on here. You know, just we normally go off on a tangent, but tonight I think is important. But guys, you know, it genuinely champers. Great show tonight. Tuesday being on the chat. Monday will be no question. Exactly. Liverpool. Wayne, exactly, mate, exactly, and you are welcome here, Wayne. You know, you always put in some amazing stuff as always. Yeah, tonight I'm sure Sir Jim will be. Oh, I actually thought we played really well today. Champers, everybody. Oh, I can't now. So, guys, I genuinely mean this. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the support of the channel. It just means so much to me. It means so much to the channel. Appreciate you all. Have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever you are, whatever you're doing in the world. Take care of yourselves. It's really important. Take care of your families. And I'll probably be back tomorrow. Hopefully this cold will go. But you know, don't tell a certain Goldbridge I'm pinching his lines, because you know, I'll probably get sued. He must be in the bar. I can't help it now. I can't help it. Champers. He's tonight. Oh, so, you know, he'd be just like, Jim, yes, you've lost today. Oh, that doesn't matter, because we've got champers, everybody. Champers. I just can't. So guys, amazing stuff. Appreciate you all. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at some point. Have a good rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you for watching. Stars, all of you. I'll see you very soon. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.